super bad, actually.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Field of Food Table Talk episode. We are on episode number 65, so thank you for clicking and thank you for listening. This topic today is going to be about woodsmanship, the skills that separate the average hunter from the true outdoorsman. And we're not saying we're experts, but between the, 60 years plus of experience between the four of us, I think we have some good tidbits to offer.
I think we're encroaching 80.
80?
Probably.
I think everyone here's probably got, 20 years at least?
Yeah.
Give or take 3.
We're all north of 30, right?
Yeah.
And no means
just north of 30.
Just north.
Further than others.
Barely north of 30.
Mid 30.
Just because my hair looks like I'm 45
Right.
does not mean I'm
Easy.
over.
And again, we aren't experts, but this is what we have to offer. But before we get into that, we'll talk about our highlight charity of the week, and we'll let Chris take this one away.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm spotlighting Rough Grass Society and American Woodcock Society. I've been involved with them in northern Michigan. They have events going on in September usually to open the grass and woodcock season.
This should be released right after that event, unfortunately.
It'll be September 13th is their next event, their kickoff weekend. But we just want to take a moment to highlight that this episode's featured charity, the Rough Grass Society, is dedicated to preserving healthy forests and supporting not only rough grouse, but also American woodcock, songbirds, deer, and countless other wildlife through habitat restoration, education, and conservation initiatives. They delve into a lot of different areas of legislation and creating habitat.
Nice. Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The information for that will be provided in the description below. And then for our conservation segment of the week, which is a new thing I want to start doing.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah, this is new. If you are lucky enough to own property, please
Let us hunt it.
Our emails provided in the about.
We're coming for you, brother.
Connex pins can be sent to said email.
Yes.
Please consider doing burns on your property. Not only will that help establish better hunting for deer, turkey, and if you are a bird hunter as well, but that'll actually bring back the natural vegetation for your area, which if you heard the saying, what's good for the bird, which is good for the herd, that's talking Tweety birds, bees, and all around just good for the environment. And here's my little pedestal, which I like to stand on, but I'll make it brief, don't worry. I think a lot of the global warming issues is because of how short we cut grass. If you go into a long canary grass field, take a temperature at the bottom of the ground, it is typically right around 65 to 75. If you go out to your front yard, which is short and manicured, it is whatever the ambient temperature is, or even a little bit hotter. Okay, woodsmanship.
Don't cut the grass.
Don't
Don't cut
burn it.
Just burn the grass.
Burn the grass.
Don't cut the grass. But wouldn't if I just cut the grass and it gets super hot and it catches on fire?
That's good.
Yeah, I'm killing.
You hold a magnifying glass?
Yeah, you're getting 2 birds stoned at once, aren't you?
Yeah, and if you are so inclined, if you go into St. Clairsville News, Ohio from 2024,
My man was digging.
you can see me doing a controlled burn.
Controlled.
It was very controlled, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Very controlled.
That's
Anyways, all right. Woodsmanship.
I have pictures. Contact me if you want them.
All right, so we're going to start with the number one tip, and it's the obvious one. It's probably the one that's most talked about. You're not. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, that is going to be.
I do it now.
easy.
That is going to be hunting and using the wind to your advantage. I'm just going to throw out a quick example. Thermals. I think that's one that's touched on quite often here on YouTube and throughout the rest of the internet. Thermals typically follow the sun. If the sun's rising, the thermals are going to rise. If the sun's setting, the thermals are going to set as well. If you can learn to play that to your advantage, or if you're on the side of a hill getting above or below that trail where it is on the side of the hill, and expecting the deer movement to come before or after those thermals kicking in. I have found a lot of success using that as a tool, and I'm sure other people here at this table has as well. But there's other things about the wind. I don't know if you guys can think of any experiences where maybe threading a needle as far as your wind direction goes to get on a deer or something else.
I've learned just certain wind directions.
Okay.
Like I have a spot where like it's set up really good and it works good for a west wind. But for some reason, when it's coming out of the north, that spot is just on fire. I don't know why. They come from the same place they bed from when it's a west wind. But they like the north wind in that bottom corner for some reason.
I've seen that in a lot of spots too.
Yeah.
Are they walking into the wind when it's north or
Nope.
no?
Crosswind?
Nope. But when it's west, it's crosswind. When it's north, it's at their back, actually, when they're coming in. But I will see, that's almost night. I would say 9 out of 10 chance if it's a north wind that you're going to see a good amount of deer.
Is it a fairly open woods?
And swamp.
Okay. I mean, sometimes you just can't explain
But
it.
it's just one of those
Just
things
have
I
to
learned
trust
because
it.
I've hunted like not out of the same tree, but in that general area for the last like I think 6 years. And it's just one thing I picked up on. I was like, man, I shoot a lot of deer down here in a north wind. I shoot a lot more than because we primarily have a west wind.
Yeah.
But like when it's a north wind, I'm like, oh, like I look back and I'm like, man, I killed a lot of deer with a north wind down there. And then now the past couple years been paying attention. I'm like, yeah, if there's a north wind, I'm seeing not like, oh, I saw one deer 80 yards away. I'm like, I'm having 5, 6, 7 deer walk past me. But it's like I said, it's odd because the wind's at their back. But they're getting some. I don't know if they're coming down and then going around to where they want to go because it's super. I mean, it's just a thick, nasty hole there in the center.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to get on there my belly on some of these deer trails to get through it. And I just don't know if they're just like, nah, I don't want to walk that right now. So they take the long route around, but and then get where they need to go, where the north wind is in favor, and they're just taking a easier route. Couldn't tell you. But for some reason, it works.
Oh, fair enough. Anything else on the wind?
Have multiple ways into a stand.
Oh, access and egress.
Because if you've got a stand that works good in most winds, or certain winds on 3/4 of the side of the compass that works well, but the access is wrong for a certain wind, have a second way in and out that you can do it just as quietly to avoid blowing your wind where you don't want it. Even ground scent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ground scent's something that we touched on a little bit the last couple episodes, and it's not a myth. It's a thing.
It is. I don't see it as often as I think some people do, and I'm not quite sure why. But I have seen deer put their nose down and go, I'm going to turn around.
Yeah.
I've had it happen with having the young buck walk over my boot tracks and then have an older buck behind him with his nose down, and he hits the exact line I walked in on. He just stops dead and just starts doing that. Look around, you're like, oh, it's over.
Yep. To build off of what you were saying as well, I've noticed that if you have a deer pattern on a certain wind, and then let's say it's the complete opposite one day, that's actually not a bad day to get in there if you're looking for an extra edge, if you can get it with that opposite wind. Because there's so long that it's not the rut, deer typically do stick to a certain pattern. And if you're not going to blow the deer out of there or do any other scent damage, give it a whirl. You just never know what might happen. And the thing about hunting is that there's a lot of science to it, but it's still an art. There is no exact way to do it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to jump ahead because I love these two. We'll start with this one. Using vegetation or topography and understand how sound can carry through those areas. We all hunt with our ears a lot. I think we learned that one young growing up, especially hunting squirrel, listening for the limbs shaking back and forth, nuts hitting the ground as well. I think after so many years of hunting, you can learn what a doe walking through the woods sounds like versus what a buck sounds like.
Absolutely.
They have a different cadence. hunt with your ears, because there's so many times, and guilty of it, I'll grab my phone, scroll on Ticky Tack, or do some work on my phone while I'm in the tree, and then I'm continually listening, and if I hear something, phone down, pay attention, and then sometimes there's something there, sometimes there's not, but you have to hunt with your ears. You just have to.
Kind of combining the wind and hunting with your ears too. It's a lot easier to hear deer that is coming upwind from you.
100%.
Especially on a breezier day.
Because that wind is pushing that sound right to you.
Exactly. If you got a deer downwind of you, even if it's a super crunchy day, but
They'll sneak in on you.
It's breezy. Sound waves are literal waves through the air that you can't see, and if it's combating a wind into it, it's going to dampen those sound waves a lot faster.
Yeah.
So if you're in a spot where you have seen deer come in from every direction, but it's a little bit windier, hunt that downwind side with your eyes a little bit more than you do the other side, the upwind side, because chances are you're not going to hear this deer near as fast as you're going to hear one coming from upwind.
Yeah,
I've seen that a lot.
I love how you said that, hunt this spot with your eyes.
Yeah,
that's so true, because there are things that are places, spots that you can get away with for just hunting with your ears, and there's some that you just have to be staring down, not playing on your phone.
Yeah. Fog too. Fog will really dampen sound because it makes the air that much heavier.
Yeah.
That's one of those situations with fog where you'll be able to see the deer, and it's like you don't hear it, and once you make eyes with it, then it's like that's the loudest thing in the woods right now.
Yep.
And also, speaking of access, just because it's dark doesn't mean you can walk like a human. Your sound carries so much further when it's dark and there's no wind, and these deer that you don't even know were there are listening to you go to your spot, take your way up into your tree. It's just part of the process, part of the game. But if you go slow, and there's spots that I won't even walk in the dark. I'll wait till shooting light and then hunt my way in. It's just a risk I'm not willing to take sometimes.
Those sound waves will battle the temperature of the air too. It's not just the speed of the wind. If that air is warmer, that sound is going to have a harder time pushing against that hot air. As
same with your humidity level too.
Yeah, exactly.
The thicker that air is,
the colder it is, the louder you're going to be.
Oh yeah.
And vice versa, the louder they're going to be too. Now, deer have this mysterious thing where you could see one doe walking through the woods and it sounds like a herd of elephant, and then the next doe you can see and she will walk straight under your stand without snapping a leaf or a twig.
Yeah.
They know how to walk and why to walk, and
I know her. I don't like her.
Yeah. Nobody does.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her. But building off the sound, let's dive into the tattletales of the woods. And I think the two biggest ones that are going to let you know that something's moving are blue jays.
Yep.
And gotta love them, squirrels.
Absolutely.
That's why I only killed one deer last year. I shot all the alarms out.
So if you're in your spot, whether you're on the ground, in a tree, whatever, but if you hear blue jays or squirrels sounding an alarm, and it's a caw, 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 or that squirrel like just real fast,
barking.
That's something's over there. It could be a bobcat, could be a house cat, could be a deer, could be whatever you're hunting that day. But that's something that I've learned, and then once I learned it, I started seeing it on TikTok and YouTube, especially. That one's real big with THP guys, and I was like, oh yeah, like okay, this is a thing. And we're trying to get this information out there for you guys so you can be more successful. One of the things that we are able to do here in Field of Food is capitalize on education for our viewers. A lot of our viewers are older, which is great. We love having you guys too, but for these new ones, there's a lot of things, especially if you didn't have a mentor hunting, that you're going to take a long time to learn. We're just trying to speed that up for you.
Yeah. Something else that I've noticed too that kind of go along with the birds and the squirrels, let's say you're walking in on an afternoon hunt and you can see, because it's light out. If you guys noticed, from the time your feet get into your stand and you're strapped in or tethered in or whatever, there's about 15 minutes there where you're not seeing birds or squirrels, and then all of a sudden they start to filter back in.
Yeah.
Because it's their kitchen too.
Yeah.
They see you as a predator, so they're going to hang out until they don't see you and either forget about you or think that you're gone.
Yeah.
So my recommendation would be, if you have any big movements to do to set up, like me, I sweat really easy, so no matter what the temperature is, I walk in really light. I've got my heavy coat and my bibs in my backpack. If you need to throw a coat on or something, do it in that 10-15 minutes where there's not a lot of wildlife around, because typically you're not going to see deer in that 10 or 15 minutes if there's not squirrel or birds.
Yeah.
Not saying it can't happen, because I've gotten up into my stand and 30 seconds later I got deer coming.
You're like, where'd you come from?
Oh, I mean,
But
I've shot deer as soon as my ass hit the seat before.
The majority of this time,
Yeah.
your movement and your setting up buys you a little bit of time to pull your bow up, put that jacket on, put your bibs on.
Especially young bucks.
Grab a snack.
Young bucks during the rut.
Yeah.
I see that more often when you're making a little bit of noise getting to your tree. They think it's a doe walking through. If you're walking carefully enough, and they're going to come check you out.
Yeah. If you're at least for me, if you guys are wondering what walking carefully sounds like, it's the heel and the foot contact that they know that's not how animals walk. When I'm trying to mimic a deer or walk really quietly, I'm walking on the balls of my feet or the toes if I'm walking on crunchy leaves, because I don't want that. Now if
it's less contact.
yeah, and it's not that of your foot hitting the ground. Now if I want to sound like a deer, I'll put the ball of my foot down, and then when I go to lift it up the next time, I won't lift it straight up for the next step. I'll kick back.
Yeah.
So it's that that the deer will
That's
make.
something that I've also used to get a little bit of distance, because you can do that quickly, or at least compared to just normal trying to sneak through the woods. And the last one I want to touch on before we wrap this episode up, and this has a lot to do with it as well. If you're walking through the woods and the brush, the flora on the ground is moving around, you can get away with a lot more.
A lot more.
If it's still, and if you're hunting on the ground or in a tree for that matter, you have to be still. If there's movement, and we've talked about this a couple times in our content, certain areas, there's certain wind ranges to where I think deer actually prefer to move around, because they feel security in that, not only through scent distribution, but blends in their sound and their movement as well. Use that to your advantage. There's been a couple of ground stalks that I've been able to actually have success on because it was windy. Had it not been windy, I was not a prayer.
I mean, I love like a 7 to 11 mile an hour wind.
Yeah.
That's like perfect amount.
And it's hard enough to not swirl. That's going to stay fairly consistent. You get into those light and variable winds.
Yeah, you get like a 3.
Holy cow.
It just kind of does whatever it feels like.
Yeah. I've been walking in, and say I've got to cross this big giant oak flat to get to where I want to go, but it's a fairly calm day, but it still has gusts. I'll take that extra 10 or 15 minutes, even if I feel like I'm getting to my stand late.
Yeah.
I'll take that extra 10 or 15 minutes and wait to move until there's a gust of wind, so it covers my sound, so it covers my motion.
Or a car driving by.
Or a plane or a helicopter.
Road tracks nearby.
We have a couple of airports around some of the areas that we hunt on a regular basis. I cannot tell you how many deer I have not alerted getting to my tree. I'll watch them. They're a couple 100 yards off, and they should be able to hear me in open woods, but I wait for the plane. And because this airport that's close to us is busy enough, it works out perfectly. There's a tag on a deer up in the room that has a plane name to it. I don't know what the plane was, but it did help.
Plane.
Yeah.
The plane.
We could talk about woodsmanship for hours.
Yeah.
We really could.
I think we'll probably revisit this one here in a couple of episodes. We do have stuff that we want to get out for you guys, so just keep in mind these are some of the quick tidbits that we've learned over the last 20 plus years each. And woodsmanship is a lifelong pursuit. As long as you have the mindset to always be a student of the woods, you'll continually get better. So you guys, thank you for watching, and hope to see you on episode 66. I don't know what it is yet. We'll find out soon.
Flip the paper. I bet we'll figure it out.
Oh, how to start a hunting YouTube channel. That's
Right. I feel like that's a you one.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something to drink and just listen.
Okay. All right. See you there.